Hello one and all, this is Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again with another video game first impressions. This time around, One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch. Pirate Warriors 4 is of course the fourth iteration of the musou style One Piece adaptation made by the same developers of the Dynasty Warriors series and franchise, and the gameplay, the style is pretty much all of that. It is Dynasty Warriors through and through, but with a One Piece flair, with the One Piece characters, and with the One Piece storytelling. With this being the fourth iteration in the franchise, that means they have more of the One Piece story to tell, but it is actually dumbed down a lot. You have here an abridged version, but less characterization, less explanation of the characters' alignments and why these characters matter. It's really for the die-hard One Piece fans, but for the die-hard Dynasty Warriors fans, for the fans that have enjoyed the gameplay of Dynasty Warriors games in the past, and of course the Pirate Warriors games in the past. One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 is an excellent example as to why this style of gameplay and franchise is so popular amongst the communities. Each character utilizes standard and strong attacks that they can mix together into combos. So say if you hit a standard strike 3 times and then top it off with a strong strike, that will unleash a strong attack at the end of the combo. It's very simple, very intuitive, and it works very well. Unlike in Pirate Warriors 3, there's also the ability to air juggle opponents in this game. There's also the ability to dash forward, which knocks back and even hurts enemies, but with the stamina meter that is attached to each character, you cannot continuously do it, but it is very helpful in spreading out mobs and of course doing damage. One of the biggest things when it comes to each character is their special maneuvers. Each character has 4 available special maneuvers that gradually regenerate over time. Once again, you cannot spam these maneuvers. Once you utilize them, you have to wait for a little while before you can utilize them again, depending on how you set up your character, because there is this RPG element to each character. You can have a variety of special maneuvers that either focus on offensive or defensive or a mixture of both. One of the biggest pluses when it comes to this game is the great amount of characters you are allowed to play as. The game starts off very early with a small selection of characters, but by the second chapter, the second arc, you are exposed to even more characters. And with that, you are allowed to test the waters, because each character doesn't play the same, obviously, but also each character has a base style, be it powerful for the big heavy-hitting allies, or a base like Speed or Sky that really thrive when it comes to air juggling. The adversaries are very much similar to what you've seen in previous Dynasty Warriors style games. You have the flock of nameless, faceless enemies that are easily disposed of. You have the big bosses that of course give a great amount of damage if you're not careful, if you do not pay attention to their tactics, to their stances, to their routines. You also have the giant enemies that pop up time to time, being pretty much commanders that do a lot of damage, take a lot of punishment to be put down, but are treated as more of blockades than actual mini-bosses. When it comes to the overall gameplay, when it comes to the RPG mechanics, when it comes to the just combat, there is a lot going for One Piece, and that also ties into the fact there is also more than one mode. The dramatic log is the story mode, which a lot of people will most likely put their time into. There is also a treasure log, which has these randomly generated maps that allows for grinding and even special side quests that are not available in the base game. Then there's free roam that allows for you to play through any chapter that you've already completed without having to worry about the story. So you have these multiple modes that give you an opportunity to not only experience the game, enjoy the combat, but also upgrade your characters more and more. Unfortunately, there are some flaws when it comes to the overall presentation. One, there are some extensive loading times when it comes to this game. For fans of the dub, when it comes to One Piece, you are not getting that here. This is all subtitled with the original Japanese voice actors. One of the biggest presentation problems definitely has to do with the fact that a lot of information is being thrown at the player on screen at one time that is hard to keep up with sometimes if you don't really focus on the mission itself. If you don't focus on the map, you can get overwhelmed. That also ties into the fact that each stage can become almost maze-like, as the hills, the valleys, the staircases, the entrances, the exits kind of bleed into one another, especially on the bigger maps. Definitely the biggest problem with the overall presentation is the fact there is no checkpoints in a mission. If you fail a mission, you have to start over again. And depending on what difficulty you're playing this game on, no matter if it's easy, normal, or hard, some of these maps, not late in the game either, pretty early in the game, can take upwards of 20 minutes. So that means if you get to the very end and just so happen to die against the boss, you will have to restart that entire map over again, meaning everything you collected is lost. It's unfortunate there isn't a checkpoint system, because there are certain moments during a mission where you have that perfect time for a checkpoint that should be implemented, but it isn't. Overall, One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 is a definitive musou game that is through and through Dynasty Warriors, through and through Pirate Warriors previous games, with a little bit of different implementations here and there. If you've enjoyed those games before, if you've enjoyed this Pirate Warrior style games, then this is definitely for you. If you're a new fan to the franchise, be it the One Piece franchise or the musou genre as a whole, I can't necessarily say that this is the perfect starting point, but it is something that I think if you come in with an open mind, you will thoroughly enjoy if you just love some simple combat with some strategic elements, some RPG elements, and some wacky characters. So there you have it. This has been Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again with another video game first impressions. One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch. Now, if you don't mind, I'm planning on going out onto the high seas to become the greatest, strongest pirate there has ever been. And if someone tries to stop me, I will have no choice but to knock them through the ceiling and make them say, "Oh Lordy."